What's up guys, so in this video I'm going to talk about 3 things that I noticed weird or different about in Germany compared to North America, Canada or other countries that I've been. So far, as some of you guys know, I like to travel and I've been to maybe 15 countries so far. Japan, Asia, North America, Oceania, New Zealand and a bunch of countries in Europe. And 3 weeks ago I moved to Germany, Munich for a new job from Vancouver, Canada, and 3 things that I noticed super weird about Germany. I got thrown off quite a bit. So first thing about, the weird thing that I found was that people just don't work, like all the stores are closed on Sunday, even grocery store. And I was thrown off finding out that grocery stores closed because I did not have any food. Like I was gonna buy a spinach and vegetables on Sunday, found out all the stores are closed. I was like, what? Like, does that mean like economic activity stops on Sunday? And I also read online that there are only like 2 grocery stores open, one's in an airport, that one just by the Munich airport. And of course, they're like fast food, like Western companies, McDonald's, stuff like that are open on Sunday, but those are the exceptions. Even like H&M or like Western Anglosphere, global international clothing and outfit companies are closed. H&M, Zara, basically shoe stores, Foot Locker, even electronic stores like Saturn, all the stores in the city centers are closed. So I was like, Sunday I was gonna do window shopping, go for a walk on a Sunday in the city center, only to find out that all the places are closed and actually less people walking on the city center on a Sunday. And I was like, what am I supposed to do on Sunday, right? And I found out that this whole German society, like laws and stuff like that is built around putting importance on family time, I guess. So Sunday is, I guess, more time for family. That's why people don't work the stores and stuff like that. And that was a huge difference. Not quite surprised, but it was like enlightening moment for me because I grew up like past 28 years. Even I lived in Canada and United States, and they do have a little more emphasis on family time than, let's say, Japan or Korea, Hong Kong, where you can think of those countries as super intense, hardcore working, long hours, and they go drinking crazy after work with colleagues, and family is just, second or third or fourth priority after work. And then, Canada or United States is a little bit exception because it's just a pure capitalism and much longer work hours in the United States than Canada. But in Canada, people spend time with the family and stuff like that. It's a little bit different from Japan, but even then, I was surprised to know that Germany, Sunday thing, never heard of that in my entire life. Like Czech Republic, I studied abroad for 6 months. All the stores are open on Sunday. So even if I had a living experience in Europe, Central Europe, when I came here, Germany, 3 weeks ago, Sunday, all the stores closed. I was like, what the hell? I didn't understand the whole meaning and idea around it. So that's something that I found super weird. Like just until, at this point in my life, until like 28, my first 28 years in my life, I didn't know about such a thing, exists, like Sunday so close, family time, that family-centric country society. I didn't know until now, and I was like so surprised to know that, right? Even with my extensive travel experience abroad, I was just so surprised. So think about, if you're just living in Japan for entire your life, like 30 years, 25 years, and then finding out, oh, what the hell, like Germany, all the stores closed, family time. Family time is such a big thing, and I didn't realize such an important thing for certain people in certain country, in different culture. So I started thinking like, oh, okay, so maybe the family thing is really big. Coming from Japan, it's not that it wasn't considered important in society. Canada, not so much. United States, not so much. So yeah, it's probably gonna integrate that kind of concept into my lifestyle. in the future when I build my life, think about that, how important it is, family time, stuff like that. Because my dad and my family, or most Japanese family, they don't even think, they don't have a luxury to think about family time. It's not their fault. It's the companies and society's fault that companies force people to work long ass hours, and they don't let employees take even vacations more than 2 weeks. Was here 6 weeks vacation I have. For me, it's I deserve 6 weeks vacation. But in Japan, people are kind of being taught, being indoctrinated to work like a slave for companies. And if you grew up in that kind of environment, then your mind is gonna be the blindly trust that as like simple single point of truth. That's the downside of living in one culture and one country, not traveling abroad or not experiencing different culture. Because in reality, there are many more different ways of living, different perception, different subjective meaning of living a happy life. And there are many ways. In here, happy life means more to do with family, I guess, or like nature. Whereas in Japan, if you work in a city center, what's considered happy is like money, materialistic needs, or drinking, go have fun at nighttime and stuff like that. It's different. So I'm pleased to find out different perspective. Even at this point in my age, with this much travel experience, I found a new thing about Germany was I got thrown away quite a bit. Didn't realize and didn't expect that to happen to me. And the next thing is about city hall residence registration thing in Germany. So I lived in like 3 different countries for like mid to long term, and I never come across this kind of system. But basically in Germany, whenever not just expats or immigrants but also local Germans as well, if you move to new address, new apartment, new house, you change address, you need to go to city hall to change your address registered on a system. And the primary reason I guess they do it is because of the keeping track of all the people for tax reason. Whenever new people come to Germany for immigration or whatever, they want to track down where they live for sending a tax ID to their address. That never happened to me in Canada. You go to the government office and you pretty much get a SIN number, a social insurance number, or social security number, and that's it. And you do tell them your address, but you don't need to register every time you move around. Well, you can call them to update your address, but not. You need to go here in Germany. You need to get paper form signed by your landlord or owner of your property where you're staying, that you live here, your name, passport number, and your address. You get the physical paper, and you need to go to City Hall. You need to be there physically, and you need to wait like 2 hours, 3 hours, maybe worst case like 3-4 hours, because everybody's rushing to that City Hall. And City Hall, service hours pretty limited, only like in the morning until noon. So people just, and then you need to take a day off, half a day off from work just to do that. It's crazy how inefficient, and it's just inefficient thing. You can't do that online. You need to go there physically. You can make appointments still, but why do you, why can't you digitalize that stuff? I found it's just dumb, stupid. Why it's not efficient? German thing is about being efficient, right? Like train systems and stuff like that. But Germans are known for paperwork and just never seen that before. Czech Republic, United States, Canada, Japan, New Zealand, all the countries that I've been, never had that kind of issue. So it's first time and it got thrown off quite a bit. Last one, third one that I found super weird. It's that people don't small talk. They don't put the smiley softness on their face, on the facade, which is kind of expected when I was already studying abroad in Czech Republic or traveling to Poland, Serbia, Hungary, Slovakia, Croatia. All the people at the grocery stores are depressed as fuck. They don't even exchange eye contact really. It gets better if you go to western part of Europe. So but still, like, I missed, little, smiley, hey, how's it going in Canada, the grocery store. What's here is kind of like super dry, and their face is like always like super serious. They don't put smiley stuff and eye contact, and then they look more depressed and definitely sad, because all that years about putting that serious face, they started forming that that forms like wrinkles and lines of not smiling, not lifting their eyebrows. So all that, especially old people, they look just so depressed and just sad, and just that they don't look happy. Even like younger generations, they put serious face all the time. And I do understand it's a cultural difference, and I've heard from different countries like Ukraine or Poland or Germany too. If you are putting a smile on in a public transit when you exchange eye contact with somebody else, that's considered rude in some country, or considered you like a pervert or something. It's in Japan like that too. Japan, if you exchange eye contact with somebody in Japan in a train, and you put a smile on, you're either weird or perverted or just weird. That's not a cultural norm there. So I do understand certain countries, but to be honest, experiencing multiple cultures and stuff like that, there are definitely more downside of not having small talk and not putting a smile on, because I've heard many times, time to time, from my ex-French roommate and ex-coworkers that in France, people are scared to talk to strangers, even the local ones. Why? Because they're so scared of getting caught up with the idea of like not being rude, being polite, and not talking to strangers, because that's a norm, so that they can't even start up a conversation with strangers in France, or like Denmark, Sweden, Norway. They're all like socially a little bit anxious and nervous about it. And that's definitely a big downside. And the more you travel, more open-minded you become. And I've met Swiss friend who traveled a lot, French travelers, and then after traveling, they start hating their own countries of the certain aspects of it, especially about that, because they become more like enlightened, they become more open-minded. That's been a pattern. More travel, Europeans who have traveled more tend to like North American or Anglosphere culture more, because they're more open-minded, laid back, and more friendly on the surface. So Swiss, a girl that told me that she didn't like Switzerland because people are just too serious and depressed, and they're not open-minded. They're so close. It's so hard even for a Swiss local, as her, she's a Swiss local, but for even her, it's hard to make friends, because people are so like close in their own like clique. So they're more cliquey. Same as French co-workers and ex-roommate tell me, people are just so scared to talk to each other. And that's social openness and social friendliness and social softness is not as there as much in Canada, United States, or Australia. And it's being a recurring issue, and then I been validating that thing about Europe, and from multiple data points as well as my own experience. It's anecdotes, but still I think it stands a point. So those are 3 things I noticed about Germany. Definitely there are way more stuff like that. German language doesn't sound sexy. It's just ugly, to be honest. I'm not scared to say that. Or like Slavic language is much more sexier or soft and feminine. Spanish is more emotionally loaded language, because they're more passionate. Like think about Italian and Spanish, they're kind of similar. The more emotional, weather definitely affects it. That's why in Scandinavia it's dark, colder, people are a little bit more closed off, and less social. And if you go to the colder place, less social they become. Something the pattern that I found. But anyways, those are 3 things that I noticed about Germany. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any comments, do let me know. I want to know, what you noticed about, weird things you noticed about Germany versus North America. Those are my experience. Doesn't mean I'm generalizing. It's just my perception. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.